Hey, what's up guys? So we're going to go over card rulings on Maxi because it's a very popular card now that it's getting a reprint relatively soon. So a lot of people are playing it. So if you're dueling someone, maybe you guys have some arguments, you can send them a link to this video and that can help resolve your problem on if you can or cannot activate Maxi. So that said, first off, I just want to say you cannot activate Maxi when Dimensional Fissure or Macrocosmos is out on the field because Maxi must go to the graveyard for his effect to activate. So he's just like Valor. If Dimensional Fissure or Macrocosmos is face up on the field, you cannot activate a Maxi because if it can't hit the graveyard, you can't get those draw cards that you want. So that said, let's go for what you can and you can't do with Maxi. So with Maxi, you cannot activate it when your opponent inherently special summons and draw. So you can still activate it after they've special summoned inherently, but you don't get to draw off of that. So I'm going to go over a few cards that are very popular in the game, and I'm going to tell you that they are inherent special summons. So cards like Malefics, all the Malefics, those are all inherent. Black Leisure Soldier, Bubble Man, Photon Thrasher, and the best example is Cyber Dragon. So an inherent special summon is basically something that's summoning itself without other cards being affected to special summon himself. So these cards basically just special summon themselves. These two cards over here, Malefic Cyber and Black Leisure Soldier. Now, these are the cards that I always have people chaining Maxi to, which they can chain it after I summon it. That's perfectly okay. Also, I just want to note real quick, Grapha is an inherent special summon. Yeah, these two cards over here, when I go to my extra deck and I remove a Malefic Cyber, you cannot chain Maxi. They're special summoned and getting removed at the same time. So I'm supposed to banish that Malefic or banish Light in the Dark and special summoning at the same time. You cannot chain Maxi to me going through my graveyard and banishing them. You can, however, chain it to when I'm looking at my graveyard. For whatever reason, you can chain Maxi technically any time, but if I go to my graveyard and go, I want to remove a Light, and for whatever reason I'm playing Exodia and Thunder King in the same deck, and if I want to banish these to special summon the Black Leisure Soldier, when I remove these, you cannot chain Maxi and draw. You can technically still chain Maxi after I've summoned my Black Leisure Soldier, that's totally fine, but you don't get to draw the card that you want to draw with Maxi's effect. So that said, one way I figured out how to resolve this problem, I mean, if you're playing like Agents, Master Hyperion, Chaos Sorcerer, all those cards where it's like remove one to special summon, from your hand. Essentially, what you want to do is special summon the monster first, and then banish from your graveyard, and that will solve the problem completely because your opponent won't be able to essentially chain Maxi to in that aspect because you're just special summoning it, and it just works a lot better. And just remember that you do need to still banish. Even if Black Leisure Soldier gets Solemn Warning, you still have to banish. That's part of Black Leisure Soldier's summoning condition. You do have to remove those cards. So that said, those are things where you can activate Maxi, but you don't get to draw off of it. So basically what I'm saying is you can't. Other cards where you can activate Maxi, and the most effective way is to activate Maxi on cards that bring out other cards to make more cards. So I know it sounds crazy, but let me explain it to you. So for example, Tour Guide. Tour Guide will bring out more cards, which is like, let's say for example, Sangan. And then most likely you'll overlay, well, you probably won't overlay with Sangan, but, depending on the situation, maybe you've got like a huge monster in the field, they got to make his enemies at the moment. That's a good way to use Maxi. So one thing is, when they summon Tour Guide, you can activate Maxi, because remember, Tour Guide is bringing out another monster, and most likely, if they do not go for Sangan, they will going for an Exceed monster. So one thing to also note, though, you can use Maxi to like force them to go for Sangan, because usually in the very beginning of the game, if you have Maxi and they go summon Tour Guide, if you activate Maxi, they will go for Sangan and they will probably end their turn right there. Well, they'll probably set some back row. If you have a card, say like Thunder King in your hand, that's a great way to use Maxi. But if you're playing against something like Windups, you might want to save Maxi for later on, maybe after they've already activated their one Tour Guide and they go for the Sangan. Yeah, depending on what deck you're playing against, always remember when to use Maxi most effectively. So like I said, Windups, you probably want to wait for them to go for their big play with like Shark and Magician to use Maxi. So yeah, depending on the deck you're playing against, take that into consideration as well. But a really good example was something like Debrief Dragon or Blizzard. So see how this card, they summon it, and then you go, I will activate Maxi. So Blizzard will then get out one card, and then you get to draw one card, so this will be your draw pile. So you've activated Maxi, so you've essentially replaced Maxi, so you 1-for-1 Maxi at the moment. Then they'll go Blizzard with the other card, and they will Synchro up to make another card. you can't make Bure, but this is a card I had right next to me. So let's say they go for like Armed Wing or something like that. Then you get to draw another card. So that is an effective way to use Maxi, because you've used Maxi. This will probably slow down their play, and you've used one card to essentially draw two. So that's an effective way to use Maxi. Debrief Dragon is also a good example of a way you can chain Maxi to the effect, and then most likely you'll get a hand advantage off of that. So that said, I just want to go over some other cards where you can use Maxi on. So great way to use Maxi against windups. They must reveal shark in their hands, so they have to reveal the shark, and then you can mind crush the shark, you can Maxi, and then at that point, windup player will be very sad. So keep in mind, you probably want to save Maxi against windups when they have the shark magician play. Also, if they go for like wind up rat, you can chain a wind up rat's effect, because they'll probably make like Zen Mighty, and then like they'll probably, or sometimes they might just end up on a Zen mains, and you still get to go +1 with it. So it's still pretty good. Also, on the side note, with Maxi, you can activate it pretty much when they summon. Let's say that you're playing Dino Rabbits. Most likely, if they summon Rescue Rabbit, you'll want to activate Maxi in response to its effect, and then that way you'll +1 off of it. Again, +1 means you get to draw 2 cards off of your 1 card, which is the Maxi. So you're going advantage of 1 card. You can activate it soon. Let's say, for example, you have a Mystic Tomato. You have Mystic Tomato face down. Let's say that you have the Mystic Tomato, and that means you're the player with the Maxi and Mystic Tomato. So as soon as they summon Drak Waiba, as soon as they declare their attack, you can activate Maxi. You can activate it as soon as the turn starts, in fact. I mean, they're going to attack you, that's why they summoned it in the first place. But you cannot activate it during the damage step. So let's say I'm the Drak player right here. I attack his face down, it happens to be a Mystic Tomato. I can't chain Maxi after that, because during the damage step, only cards that affect the attack essentially can be activated, or anything spell speed 3 that negating the effect, like something like Divine Wrath or something like that. So yeah, and Gwaiba's effect is optional. So let's say that you are the Mystic Tomato player and you activate Maxi. I can choose if I'm playing the Drax, because if you read this card, let's zoom in on it. There we go. So you can special summon one Drac monster with 1700 or less attack from your deck, and it can't declare an attack this turn. So yeah, I don't have to get out the Drac, because maybe I don't want to let you draw the cards, because I will get out Drak Gwaiba, and then I'll probably make Logia, most likely. And then maybe I don't want him to draw those 2 cards. Maybe I'll just go attack over the Mystic Tomato, you can get your card with Mystic Tomato, I don't want to activate my effect. And then that way I made my opponent use Maxi, and then they didn't get to draw off of it. But it does make me kind of lose advantage, so depending on your situation, keep that in mind as well. A way to use Maxi also is when your opponent activates cards like Call of the Haunted, Monster Reborn, Miracle Fusion, Book of Life, anything that just brings 1 monster back, you can chain Maxi, and even if you're bringing back a monster that was inherently special summoned, let's say for example like Black Luster Soldier, if he was special summoned properly, yes, you can bring out Black Luster Soldier again with Monster Reborn or Call of the Haunted. As long as, again, he was special summoned properly and he hit the field properly, like he didn't get Solemn Warning, you can activate Monster Reborn, Call of the Haunted on him. So, that said, even though he is an inherent special summon, the first time he comes out, that's an inherent special summon, and you cannot really use Maxi against. But if I activate Monster Reborn, you're going to chain to the Monster Reborn. Even if they get out an inherent special summoned monster, you still get to draw the card, because remember, Black Luster Soldier isn't bringing out himself. These are the cards that are bringing out the monster, and that is something that you can use Maxi against. Again, Blizzard bringing out other cards. Black Luster Soldier, he's bringing out himself. There's no other cards involved when he's first inherently special summoned. That's kind of what I'm trying to tell you guys, that you cannot activate it during inherent special summons to draw off of. So Grapha is also inherent, so if you're playing against Dark Worlds, if they have Grapha in their graveyard and they summon Brow, you can activate Maxi. Maxi in versus Dark Worlds, you're usually not going to be able to like plus off of Maxi. It usually ends up being a 1-for-1. So as soon as they summon Brow, you just go, okay, activate Maxi. And of course, they're going to bounce back for Graph. They always do. But, yeah, also, depending on what deck you're playing against, keep that in mind too, because if I have, let's say, I don't know, what can I have face down? Let's say, for example, I have a Cyber Dragon on the field. And they just go, activate Mind Control on your Cyber Dragon. You can chain Maxi right there. That's a good use of it too, because if they take your Cyber Dragon, they're probably going to go Synchro, XYZ, they're going to do something to your Cyber Dragon. Because keep in mind, Mind Control, you can't tribute the monster. and it can't declare an attack, so it's not going to really like do any good for them. So most likely they're going to go for an XYZ or Synchro when they use Mind Control. Depending on the deck you're playing against, keep that in mind too. Maybe that they just want to take your Cyber Dragon and they're going to summon something and OTK you. But yeah, Maxi, you can use Maxi right there. That's an effective way to use Maxi because if they don't do anything with the Cyber Dragon, you get to have it back on your end phase, and that's pretty good. So yeah, those are ways you can use Maxi most effectively. Just going over the top decks real quick. Let's see, heroes are also kind of big. We got windups. Yeah, I'd say these are probably near the top tier decks. Also Dino Rabbit. That one's pretty easy, I would say. As soon as they summon their Rescue Rabbit, and they activate the effect. Okay, so windups, wait for them to do either their windup rat play or the reveal shark in their hand. Dark Worlds, wait till they summon, as long as they have Graph in the graveyard, wait till they summon the monster. And then they're going to bounce back for Graph because remember Graph is inherent, so you're going to have to activate it as soon as they basically normal summon that Dark World. Versus like Elemental Heroes that are playing Bubble Man, you can activate it during Miracle Fusion, but you can also activate it when they summon Bubble Man by setting all their cards. So let's say you're playing against this. Remember, you cannot chain Maxi to the inherent special summon of Bubble Man. But let's say you have Maxi and I'm playing Heroes. I go set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4. Okay, now activate Maxi right now. See how they have one card in their hand? Activate Maxi right now because that usually reveals if they're setting everything and they have one card in their hand. So on the last set of the card, because keep in mind you have to remember how many cards that they have in their hand. It's easier on Dueling Network to see how many cards they have in their hand. But yeah, once they set all of their stuff, especially if you have a heavy storm that you can follow up with this play, because sometimes the hero player will just be like, oh, it's cool, I'll just keep it in my hand. I'm not going to let you draw because I'm going to go for an OTK play next turn. Sometimes they'll still try to go for the OTK, depending on the deck. But yeah, Bubble Man is an inherent special summon, so just wait for them to set 4, and then you can chain Maxi to their last set. Or maybe they only have 4 cards in their hand, so their third card, activate Maxi right there. Keep that in mind as well, and that can help you out quite a bit. Because that can stop them from playing completely. They'll just be like, oh, it's cool, I'll just end my turn. And then you can go Heavy Storm and then you just win. Because then they have like Miracle Fusion set and stuff like that. Because they don't want to go all in when they're under Maxi. So Maxi, pretty good card. You can use it pretty defensively. And you can also use it offensively depending on what deck you're playing and what deck you're playing against. Keep that in mind as well. But yeah, Maxi, a pretty good card, and you'll be expected to see a lot of players playing this. I'll probably make a video on what decks that are seeing less play after the Maxi reprint, because I am sure there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be main decking Maxi in a lot of decks. They'll probably play like 2 Maxi, 2 Veiler, because it's pretty standard, I'd say, for a lot of decks to just play 2-2. But yeah, Maxi, very good card, and I hope this helps you guys out on Dueling Network, because, again, the most common thing is when they go, remove light, remove dark, okay, chain Maxi, and I'm like, no, you can't do that, because it's an inherent special summon. But yeah, so I hope this helps you guys out, and again, if you have any problems with dueling someone with Maxi, just send them this video, and I know it's kind of long, but maybe you guys can fast forward to the part that you want to tell them why you can't activate it, or why you can activate it. But yeah, that said, let me know what cards you guys want to see next in the card rulings videos, because I know it helps you guys out, especially on Dueling Network. I wish we had like an official site that had all the rulings. It would really help out this game. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what cards you would like rulings on, and maybe I can help you guys out. Sometimes I'll just message you guys because it's a really simple ruling, and I don't think it's necessary to make a video on it. But yeah, I mean, all these really popular cards are coming out. I feel like it's good to make videos to help you guys out. But thanks for watching, guys. Asian Eyes White Dragon, signing out.